So far, we've spent about 166 million, but we still have a long way to go, as you can see. And my coming here was just to see what already has been started here. As I have said, what we have behind us here is like, the first project, which is behind us here, which will be the first among so many other projects that we want to set up here, including dormitories, a training center, workshops, and so forth and so on. We will even have staff houses so that our doctors and service providers can reside here with their clients and support them until they are fully treated. As I have said, there are three components to this program. The first one is treatment of the addicts. The second one is rehabilitation. And the third one is reintegration. Reintegration requires us to put up a training facility here where after the patients are fully treated, which is anywhere between 6 months and 2 years, depending on the levels of addiction. Once they are fully treated, we will run courses here. And those courses are to give them technical and vocational skills, tailoring, carpentry, masonry, electrical and mechanical certifications. And we are working with the NITA, that is the National Industrial Training Authority, which will certify our training center here so that we have a comprehensive reintegration program. We are also thinking as a ministry, those patients who are fully treated and they have the proper skills, we're going to establish a small fund to give them startup capital to go back home and start being productive again and become useful members of our society. Brothers and sisters, fellow Kenyans, getting addicted to drugs and alcohol could happen to any person. It could happen to your children, to your brothers and sisters, and if your brothers and sisters are safe, it could happen to your neighbor. And today, many homes in the country are affected by this problem. It is a serious threat to our nationhood because it is wasting away many of our productive men and women who are unable to engage in their socio-economic activities, and instead they are wasting time taking drugs and destroying their health. Many families are broken as a result of this problem, and it is costing the country a lot in terms of even the healthcare burden and also in terms of security. There is a direct linkage between the use of drugs and alcoholism and the spike in criminal incidents of crime. And therefore, what we have done across the country is to classify the problem of manufacture, use, sale, distribution, and consumption of narcotic drugs and illicit alcohol a national security threat. And we are classifying it that way so that we can engage all the machinery of the state and of the nation to combat these vices and redeem our generation, so that when the adults who are here today expire from the world, we can hand over this country to a younger generation, our children, who are sober, upright, hardworking, and productive people. At the moment now, this problem is big across the country. No region of our country is free from this problem. No part of Kenya has been spared. In some areas, the problem is the dangerous drinks and alcoholism. In other areas, it is hard drugs, especially here in Mombasa. It is hard drugs, heroin and bangi and so forth and so on. So we are treating this with the seriousness it deserves. On 6th of March this year, we announced a 25-point plan to fight illicit alcohol, narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances in all the 47 counties of our country. That program is ongoing. And that program, as we said on that day, is going to be merciless, ruthless, focused, and extremely decisive, so that we are not distracted by the things that have distracted us in the past, whenever as a country we have tried to confront this problem. And therefore, for us as the managers of our national security, we are seized of this matter, and we have instructed all our colleagues in the field, including the team here in Mombasa, to take this fight seriously. It is going to be a timeless war, the same way the war against terror is timeless. We have no period in sight. We will fight this problem until Kenya is free from drugs and alcohol. And believe you me, fellow Kenyans, it's going to work this time round. We do not want to politicize the matter, and we have asked our brothers and sisters who are politicians to keep off this matter. It's a law enforcement matter, and leave the law enforcement agencies of the state to do their mandate. It's not a political issue. We are not in a political process of either punishing or rewarding anybody, and we remain focused as such. The other issues that have given us problems in past nationwide operations and programs like this one is trying to bring in economic and commercial issues, and the discussion around businesses and the right of people to do businesses. And again, we want to make it clear, we have no problem with any business, and all businesses that are operating within the law are protected by the Constitution and by the law, and we have no problem with them. We have a problem with criminals who are selling narcotic drugs and illicit alcohol to our children, our fathers and mothers, our brothers and sisters. And these are the people we are declaring war on. Here in Mombasa, I want to commend the County Commissioner and the security team here. I think the effort has been quite commendable. We have been able to seize quite a number of substances, including illicit brews, in various measurements. I don't have time to go through the records. The County Commissioner can share with you the statistics a little later. We have also seized huge amounts of bangi, about 3,903 rolls, 29 stones and 24 sticks. We have also been able to seize heroin, 97 sachets, 10 tablets of clozapam, 160 prescription drugs, and also we have also been able to confiscate shisha facilities and equipment here in Mombasa. So we've done quite a good progress. It is non-compliant alcohol outlets have also been closed, 260 of them. Either they were operating without licenses, or they were licensed by the county government contrary to the applicable national law. Our constitution provides that any laws, directives, or regulations of the county governments that contradict national law, then the national law supersedes the county laws. And therefore, licenses which have been given contrary to the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act have been declared a nullity, and they have been we have been able to shut down 160 outlets. As I gave the statistics last week, we are now approaching the 20,000 mark on the premises we have shut down across Kenya, either operating without licenses or operating with licenses that are issued contrary to the applicable national law. We have also shut down 14 distilleries illegally operating, manufacturing poisonous drinks and selling to our people across the country. And besides shutting them down, we have destroyed their production infrastructure to make sure that the ability to continue manufacturing those poisonous substances is destroyed. So by and large, I am happy And I want to ask my colleagues, my brothers and sisters in the enforcement agencies, GAO, police, NACADA, KRA, KEBS, Coast Guard, anti-counterfeit agency, and everybody else. Let us take this war seriously. And this time round, we have said, we must, as public officials, demonstrate public confidence and stakeholder confidence in this war. How do we do that? We make sure we only carry out operations that have been approved by the security team so that we don't have people harassing members of the public, taking advantage of the enforcement measures that are happening. No officer is allowed to carry out their own operations. They must be discussed, agreed at the local level, county, sub-county, etc., etc. We have also said that as public officers, we will remove ourselves from any cases of conflict of interest. And we have directed as a national security measure that all public officers who are serving in any of the enforcement agencies, GAO, police, Kenya Revenue Authority, Kenya Bureau of Standards, Anti-Counterfeit Agency, and others, the Coast Guard, if you own a bar or you have a business that sells alcohol, even if it is a licensed business, you must shut it down to remove perceptions of conflict of interest. And we have shut down quite many, and we are asking for full compliance. No public officer in the enforcement agencies is allowed to run an alcohol-related business because it brings conflict of interest and erodes public confidence in our ability to undertake this very important national activity. And we have said, for those of our colleagues who think the business is very lucrative, then they choose between the job and the business. They can go out of the job and continue doing the business. Then if they are operating illegally, we'll crack down on them when they are out there. Also, all officers who have served for more than 3 years have to leave their stations for new stations, and that work is in progress. Here in Mombasa, we've hundreds of officers who are in that category. Some of them have started moving out of Mombasa to other parts of the country. The Inspector General of Police and other relevant agencies are seized of that matter, and the instructions from the National Security Council are very clear that there will be no exceptions, and therefore all the 42,500 police officers who have stayed for more than 3 years in one station must leave. And that is almost half, nearly 45% of the total population of our police officers, because some of them have gotten used to the locality, some of them have married local girls there, so they have relatives, they have fathers-in-law, sisters-in-law there. So when we send them to enforce the law, and the father-in-law is a brewer of illicit drinks, they will be conflicted, isn't it? Because now it's either enforcing the law, it's either the job or the girl, the job or the family, the job or the family, isn't it? So please, we have no option. We have to get transferred. We also have to remove ourselves from conflict of interest. You cannot open another business that doesn't conflict with your law enforcement duties. You can open an M-Pesa, you can open something else, a barber shop. There's no problem. There's no conflict of interest there. And this applies to both the officers themselves or proxy, spouse, child, or some other proxy. And we have asked the National Intelligence Service to help us track down on our colleagues who don't want to comply. So this time round, we are convinced as a country we will deliver. This country will look very different in another 2-3 years. You will see the direct benefit, reduced crime rate, a healthier population, more productive population, and that will translate to a better GDP for our country. So we remain seized of this matter. As I have said, this is going to be our center of excellence. We will partner also with the county governments across the country. First of all, we'll use this facility when it is complete to train and to assist counties to benchmark on how they can replicate these services in all the 47 counties. Again, we intend to have 47 treatment, rehabilitation and reintegration centers in each and every county, one per county, so that we offer services that are accessible and affordable to the people of Kenya. The private rehabilitation and treatment programs are extremely expensive. Per month, 200,000, 300,000. The services we are offering here are free services offered by the government of Kenya to treat, rehabilitate, and reintegrate our brothers and sisters, and we're going to get a package for them to start them off back in the society as productive people. Therefore, we want also counties to partner with us. At the moment, we have requested them in the existing hospitals in the counties to have a ward which is dedicated to patients who are related to this problem, even as we open up the rehabilitation centers. So we are very upbeat about this. As once again, I want to assure you we will succeed. The support of the public has been extremely, extremely high. And I think for once we have the right levers. We have laid our hands on the right levers. I want to commend NACADA for the great work it is doing across our country. We're going to increase your funding to make sure that you have more personnel to help you do this very important work for the country. And there is a direct economic benefit to the country, to a drug-free society. Direct, more productive people, and better GDP outputs, and happier families, and healthier families who have no complications. So right now, I have heard the needs that we require here, S-Checker needs. I want to promise that what NACADA has requested, immediately 50 million will be availed so that they can be able to continue with the ongoing construction of the training center, which is a priority project. And then we'll make sure that in the shortest time possible, the entire 1.3 billion shillings is availed to complete and commission this center of excellence. It's going to be the biggest in Kenya and possibly within Africa. This will be one of the best facilities in our region. Nataka niachie hapo. And I even forgot that part of our problem is also coming from the sea. So we have discussed ourselves, the Kenya Coast Guard Services, in partnership with our brothers and sisters from the Kenya Defense Forces, the Kenya Navy in particular. We are increasing the capacity of both the Coast Guard and the Navy to surveil our territorial waters in the Indian Ocean, to make sure that we are able to intercept the unholy alliance between big ships in the high seas and small boats, which are being used sometimes by crooked drug peddlers to go and offload some drugs to come and sell to our people. Otherwise, for the drug peddlers, your days are over. I will not say they are numbered, they are over. We will come for you like we are going for terrorists, because the harm you have caused is worse. If you look at the people who have been destroyed by drugs, they are even more than the people who have been killed by terrorists in the last 10 years. The last 10 years, we have lost civilians and officers, 500 people in our country to terrorism. All terror attacks included. Drugs have killed thousands of people. So the drug peddlers, the time is up. Wakati umekwisha, either ujisalimishe ama tukutafuti. Yeah. Any person selling drugs here, it doesn't matter their rank, their status, whoever they are, whoever they know, either they hand over themselves to the nearest police station or we will go looking for them. Nataka niwashukuru, na leo ni Ijumaa. Nawatakia Ijumaa njema kwa wale ni Waislamu. Vile vile najua mko katika mwezi wa Ramadhan, wale ambao ni Waislamu. Nawatakia kila laheri katika saumu yenu mnapoenda kukamilisha mwezi wenu wa Ramadhani. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie kero hili la mihadarati, madawa ya kulevya na pombe haramu tumelivalia njuga, na safari hii hakuna chochote kisasimama mbele ya serikali ya Kenya na kuharibu mitambo na uwekezaji ambao umewekwa kutengeneza vileo vya sumu na mihadarati. Magari yote ambayo yanatumika kusafirisha mihadarati tutayatoa kwa umma. Majumba yote ambayo yanatumika kuhifadhi mihadarati tutayaharibu kulingana na sheria ambayo imewekwa katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo mimi sitaki kuongea kuzidi hapo, na watakia kila laheri, na kwa sababu tuko safarini, naomba msiniulize maswali kwa sababu sasa niko na Kilifi, niko na... But you are many. How can many people ask one question? Who asks on behalf of everybody? You know, I know where you are going. Na utafika. Kwa sababu we said we are not fighting culture, we are not fighting businesses, we are not fighting traditions, we are not fighting livelihoods, we are fighting crime. And therefore, the crackdown is on all illicit substances as defined by various laws. 1, the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act. 2, public health laws. 3, quality standards by the Bureau of Standards. 4, etc., etc. Anti-counterfeit. So I know where you are going, my brother. So you know the answer. I have given you the answer. We are cracking down on anything that doesn't meet standards. It's not business, it's not livelihoods, it's not culture. I even heard some other brothers and sisters of yours from central Kenya. They were also saying they have also another drink there, which they use for their manenos. And we have no problem. We have no issues. Yeah. But if whatever is being served is poisonous, it hurts the health of the people, doesn't meet health standards, quality standards, and so far. Asanteni sana, muwe na siku njema. Thank you very much. Good Friday. Yes, happy holidays. And what is the name again of... No. The name of the person you're asking about? Yes. And how did you describe him? Suspected. By who? So I think the best way, let me answer your question as follows. If family members of a deceased person have lost their person, they should record a statement with the police immediately so that we can find out exactly what happens. Because many things happen, and because people know we are hard on terrorists and drug people, very early people start thinking maybe it's the police and so forth and so on. But I want to say that our police officers operate within the law. You have asked whether there is extrajudicial killing. Extrajudicial killings are illegal and unconstitutional. We don't condone them. But if someone has died in mysterious or suspicious circumstances, let the family and next of kin record a statement, and we are going to investigate very thoroughly and find out, because some of these criminal gangs, they even compete against each other. They even harm one another among themselves. So you can't tell. So I need to be briefed and updated on that one. If somebody has already made a complaint at the police station, and then we take it up from there. But get assured, we have issued very, very strict directives to our law enforcement officers. 1, not to engage in extrajudicial killings. 2, to use all lawful force to apprehend and neutralize serious threats to national security, including terror and drug trafficking, but within the law. And they know what I mean by within the law. They are guided by the Constitution. They are guided by the National Police Service Act. They are guided by the Penal Code, the Evidence Act, and the standing orders of the National Police Service. Every officer knows when to use the weapon, in what circumstances, and we don't engage in extrajudicial killings. And we have said any officer who misuses their weapon outside the law will be on their own. But at the same breath, any officer who uses their weapon to protect the country and to protect dangerous people from harming the society in accordance with the law, the government of Kenya will stand solidly behind that officer. Asanteni sana, muwe na wakati mwema, and happy Easter for the Christian brothers and sisters, for the Muslims. As you continue your fast, we wish you well. And to all of you, my friends, it's good to see you. I'll see you again. I have to move. Asante sana. Thank you very much.